to the beautiful people of the Cameroons. Good day to the beautiful people of British Cameroon and the beautiful people of La République du Cameroun. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to come and talk and elucidate on how the annexation of British Cameroon was a fait accompli. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Today, I want to tell you, say, all these things, the whole they talk, 1972 plebiscite referendum, that was a fait accompli. It was planned even before independence. Fait accompli simply means that something have already happened, or they have already decided on the thing, then you have no option. That's what happened, and that's what I intend to prove today to my viewers. I want to thank all those who have been leaving some positive comment on my videos. It's encouraging. I prefer to have one or two real disciples than to follow the crowd. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this, the bad faith that most of the leaders at the time before the so-called independence, I want to tell you that it was a fait accompli. Leave this history that we keep on talking about. Oh, this one did this. Aijo 1972 Constitution. Those is waste time. Those things were planned before the so-called independence. The leaders, they had bad faith. Bad faith was equivalent to a treasonable offense, even including the Aijo regime. And what Mr. Biya is doing today is a treasonable offense. I'll tell you why, and I'll explain it to you on this program today. First of all, what is the definition of treason? Treason is a crime of disloyalty to a country. Disloyalty to a country. I will elucidate. When Mr. Biya, Aijo, all of them, Jemanve Rande Conte, after national dialogue, to a foreign country, that's disloyalty to your country. When a president of a country says, Je suis meilleur élève de Mitterrand, that's disloyalty to your country. When your private things like your money, they are being manufacturing your money in France, that's a secret of the country. Personal intelligence, that's treasonable offense, disloyalty to a country. This primarily involves acts that are directly threatening to the sovereignty of a state. So I'll prove to you that Aijo, Biya, and other people who have been working with them, their action threatens the sovereignty of a state. Because to me, the Cameroons is not a sovereign state. Already, I always say that clearly because there are characteristics of sovereignty. If you cannot make your own money, if you cannot control your monetary policy, you don't have central bank, you have to deal with other people, it is not sovereignty. Sovereignty is the power to be free to decide on what you want to do. The Cameroons cannot decide on so many things. And again, as I say, I'm defining sovereignty, that's crime of disloyalty to your country. Again, if you give aid to those who are hostile to your country, that's treason. And I will explain how the Biya and Aijo regime have been committing a treasonable offense. And I want to make this clear. The Constitution of La République du Cameroun say a treasonable offense is what? The punishment is for death penalty. And I'll bring this. Okay, let me give you this example, which is very important. Oh, I'll come to this first. There's something I want to say, which is very important. In the UK, before the decentralization of powers in the UK, United Kingdom, had a central form of government where power was concentrated in Westminster, that's in London. Everything was being done in London. So it means that England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, all the 4 countries, they were subjected to the same laws in this country. So they were subjected to the same government policy with decision made at national level. So Britain, before the early 1990s, Britain was a centralized form of government. But let me tell you something. Although they were a centralized form of government, Scotland was still Scotland. England was still England. Wales was still Wales. Northern Ireland was still Northern Ireland. Nobody changed anybody's name, but it was a centralized form of government. Compare it with La République du Cameroun. Okay, I just said federalism was expensive. We went to what? Centralized form of government. So why did they change the name of British Cameroon? You get the point. This is very important. That's why I say it was a fait accompli. Britain before 1990 was a centralized form of government. Centralized form of government doesn't mean it's dictatorship, because they still had democracy, free and fair elections, accountability, transparency, parliamentary system where they used to hold the government to account, they scrutinize it. But it was centralized in decision making and government at a national level. That's a difference. But in the Cameroons, they say centralization. We have 250 ethnicity. We have different custom and tradition. But when you're making decision at a national level, I'll give you an example. Article 11 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroun says, the government shall implement the policies of the country, which is supposed to be defined by who? One man, the president of the republic. One person have to decide the life of 29 million people, the people of British Cameroon and the people of La République. One man have to decide on these 2 countries. It doesn't work that way in a democracy. In a democracy, a political party is created. Members like myself, we always have annual conferences. We go there, we decide on our policy. We draft our manifesto, not the president of the republic. One person cannot be knowledgeable to sit and draft the policy of a country. It doesn't work that way. It never works anywhere in the world. When you sit, we have conferences every year in the United Kingdom, all the political parties. I can go there. You can go there to your own political party. You sit, you debate policies, you come up with policies. And when you are in government, you implement those policies. That's how it works. But the Constitution of the Cameroon says the president of La République du Cameroun will define policy. Can Mr. Biya define policy? Let's be honest. What policies do Mr. Biya knows? Prison reform, crime, housing, other things. He doesn't know. Ever since when he was young, I'm not talking now, because I don't know what policy Mr. Biya has. They have been having election upon election, presidential elections, and they have never been a manifesto. It's politics of personality called. We can see people, all those people who are there in the political party, it's personality called. They just come and talk by themselves. They don't have any debate in their own political party to come up with policy. When I've invited all these people, the presidential candidate, come and debate with me. I am not, how do they say it in pidgin English? I'm not the make mouth. Let one presidential candidate in the Cameroons come and stand and have debate with me. I will disgrace them, because to me, forget whether they went to school. They don't know politics. They don't know about policy. I have studied the Cameroons personally for more than 35 years. I know what is wrong with that country. Let's go back to our topic. Our topic is what? How the annexation of British Cameroon was a fait accompli. That's it. Okay. There were certain people that were calling them Makiza, terrorists, okay? Ernest Wanji, Nyobe, Bishop Dongmo, Felix Mumi, and a host of others. What were they fighting for? What were they fighting for? They were fighting for the independence of La République du Cameroun. That's what they were fighting for. And if you're fighting for your independence, it means you want to be a sovereign nation. So how can you call people who were fighting the colonial power, how can you say they are maquisards or terrorists? So I'm going back to say the annexation, I want to prove it to you, how the annexation of British Cameroon was a fait accompli. Normally, people like the Aijo, Andre Bida, even the Paul Biya when they came to the Cameroons, they should have joined people like Ernest Wanji, Nyobe, Bishop Ndomo, all of them, and fight for their independence. But they were against them. So who among them was fighting for the independence, was fighting against France or Britain? Who? It was the Ernest Wanji. It was the Nyobe. It was the Felix Mumi. But President Aijo came and assassinated these people with France. Because why? There was a fait accompli. Ladies and gentlemen, most people don't know this. The real date that La République du Cameroun had its independence is not 1961. 1961 is 1960, it's not 1960. That's 1st January 1960. It's not that date. I will tell you why. In 1955, Ernest Wanji, Nyobe, Felix Mumi, well, I don't know what day, Tumasa was there. In 1955, they did something they call La Proclamation. That's the day they declared their independence. That's the day La République du Cameroun had independence, in 1955. That was the real independence. The 1st January 1960 independence was camouflage, was handed over to the Aijo and Co. to kill the Ernest Wanji, the real forefathers of that La République. Ask any person what is La Proclamation. That's the day they had independence. The day the Americans or the French they had their independence. It's the day they personally declared their independence. It's not the day that the colonialists, they had pre-agreement, they came and exchanged flag with Aijo. That was not independence. That's why we are still suffering from the hands of these colonialists. If you have independence, you don't ask an opinion. You do what the Ernest Wanji they did, they call La Proclamation. We have declared our independence. That's our day. But if the colonialists, they arrange, they come and give you independence, that's a fait accompli. I'm still coming back. How La République du Cameroun, how the annexation was a fait accompli. Okay, to me, in a real democracy, what the Aijo and Co. they did, that was a treasonable offense. Because Ernest Wanji, Felix Mumi, Bishop Ndomo, they were fighting for Africans. The Aijo and the Biya and Co., they team with the West colonial power. So, look, who is a patriot? The Ernest Wanji, the Nyobe, Felix Mumi, the Tumaza, Albendomo, and you name the rest. Those are patriots, African patriots. They were fighting for their land. But the current government, the CNU rebranded CPDM, they team up with foreigners to kill Africans. These are things they are not telling you. So you cannot call somebody who is fighting that is a maquisard. Like today, the Anglophone problem, I see people, they keep on calling people terrorists. If you are engaged in a civil war, you're not a terrorist. Bin Laden was not engaged in a civil war. If you're fighting for your independence, or you're fighting for what is right, they can call you whatever they want to call it. It doesn't matter. Is there war crime for terrorists? When you're fighting a civil war, they say you have breached war crime. Why? International humanitarian law. Those people that they have arrested, they are not saying they are terrorists. They say they have breached war crimes, inciting violence. That's what they have done. They are not saying they are terrorists. In war, you can commit a crime. As a government, you can commit a crime. We know what happened in Gabo, what the government of La Republique did to the people of Gabo. We knew what happened in north of Cameroon. BBC showed a documentary where they killed some women and children. Is it Issa Chiruma was saying it's not in Cameroon, it's not true, but it was true. So you see, these things happen, whether it's in government side or what, but a wrong is a wrong and a right is a right. Okay, I'm telling you. Let's go down. When I said the annexation of British Cameroun was a fait accompli. Okay, I always talk about the cooperation agreement. In 1959, when Ahidjo was signing the cooperation agreement with France, was British Cameroun there? No. They were not even an independent country, but they were a country. They had a prime minister called Amadou Ahidjo with a government and a parliament. They had a population and an international boundary. They were a country, but they were not independent in 1959. So they made their agreement, Fait Accompli, that France is still going to manufacture their money. France CFA, that was created in France in 1945. They agree that France should control their education at all levels. All level means what? ENS came from France. ENAM comes from France. Gendarmerie comes from France. So they are controlling and their socio-political orientation. Those are things that they agree. We of British Cameroon, we're not there, we're not part of it. So they make their agreement. This come and let us say, stay as some of you say, I'm talking, these are legal things. I'm not just making it up. Okay, after the cooperation agreement, what happened? In 1964, they had what they call UDIAC, Common Custom and Economic Union, among La Republique du Cameroun, Central African Republic, Chad, Republic of Congo, and Gabon. These are French countries, Francophone countries. So wait, Southern Cameroon, British Cameroon get waiting for do for inside French people, their union. Okay, get why I said this was a fait accompli. Get it right. Why I say it was a fait accompli. La Republique had independence in 1960. You haven't settled in your country to understand your own country. Just, let me say, 3 to 4 years. You're already entering custom economic union with Central African Republic, with Chad, with Republic of Ireland, no, not Republic, Republic of Congo and Gabon. You have to settle. If you have your independence, it will take you more than 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 years before the United Kingdom joined the European Union. I don't know, maybe it was in 1972. They have been independent for a long time. But just 3 to 4 years. Ahidjo, a post office worker, whether it's radio or whatever, he had that knowledge to go and be joining a custom and economic union with other countries. Is that possible? It was planned by France because it's easier to control them. So you see, UDIAC was there already. What happened? UDIAC now evolved to CEMAC. It changed to CEMAC. They broadened it, brought more countries inside. And what is CEMAC? Because CEMAC is still there. CEMAC went for deeper economic and monetary integration. Mr. Bia told us that what? They tried to integrate us. They took this, how do they call it? Maybe we are like toilet roll. We don't have our identity. They just took us and integrate. You don't think we are integrate, no? What's integrate? When they are integrating you, means you don't have value. Look at Scotland and England. Scotland is a tiny dot, smaller than British Cameroon. England signed a union treaty, the Act of Union, 300 years ago. I keep on saying, You cannot say La Republique and British Cameroon, they are one, because it was a slave plantation, it was not a country. We became a country only when Dr. Endeli became Prime Minister of British Cameroon. Political authority, population, and territory. Same with La Republique too, separate. That's when we became a country. Then now the problem is independent after, which is different. As I said before decentralization, the United Kingdom had 4 countries. They centralized the government, but they maintained the 4 countries because everybody gets the identity. Why did La Republique? Why they remove, disappear British Cameroon, come back only with star? They make who disappear. Is that normal? And if these people don't want to understand, they don't want to understand peaceful revolution, what's going to happen? I love peace. I use their law to fight them. That's my own way of fighting them. I use their law until they don't block my nose. Why I don't feel breathe. Now maybe I go punch. I still not say I can use the laws of the Cameroons and have self-determination in accordance with Article 65 of the Constitution of La Republique du Cameroun. Okay, as I'm saying, it was a fait accompli. All this we say, Aijo made constitutional coup, it was expensive. Okay, we would have had a centralized form of government. When you centralize government, it just means decision comes, example, from Yaoundé, and the government at all levels all come from Yaoundé. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that you should change the name of another country. It doesn't mean you should integrate, assimilate another country or annex them. That's not what it means. The whole of Europe can centralize their decision making in Brussels. Most of their decision in Europe come from Brussels. But France is still France. Ireland is still Ireland. Luxembourg is still Luxembourg. Romania is still Romania. Norway is still Norway. Hungary is still Hungary. So why is it that you want centralization? Yes, centralization is something different. It's about decision making. Okay, Aijo, we have given you the power. Go and make the decision in Yaoundé. Why is it that you annex British Southern Cameroon? That have got nothing to do with government. Even if you want to join our government, the Parliament of British Cameroon, Parliament of La Republique du Cameroun, we can have the same parliament in Yaoundé. The point is what they are not telling you. Centralization doesn't mean changing the name. In the whole of the Cameroons, why is it that it's Victoria that they are going to change Victoria? Have we, the people of British Cameroon, we know why complain someone has changed the name Victoria? Because they want to integrate us, nothing English. That's the point. It was a fait accompli. And unfortunately, our big brothers, our big papa, them were mommy, the way they exist before me, they were doing these things in front of them, they were silent. And today, some of them, they come and say, I want to be presidential candidate. I am sick of these people who are not tired. I will keep on saying, if you are above 70 years old, go and stay in your village. You are not different from Mr. Bia, because you people are the problem. We did our best. By now, we would have been living in a beautiful country peacefully. But because these people, they had belay politics, all of them, even if you were not doing politics, if they are taking your right, they are taking your right. You cannot keep quiet. If you have their power come, they want to disturb it. You cannot keep quiet. They want to destroy it. If you have your Tico International Airport, they want to take it away. For more than 30 years, Mr. Bia said, I'm going to construct ring road. I'm going to construct a deep sea port in Victoria. All these people above 70, they kept quiet. When we're marching, protesting for multipartism, what happened? A whole landed lawyer, Minister of Justice, Benjamin Etwe was the one saying, Dimabola, we want one party state, we don't want multipartism. They keep on doing this. When we fight, They give something. Regional assembly, they want to be there. But they are the ones against it. That is the problem of these Bele people, them chop people, their money for the Cameroons. They care only about their interests. They cannot remember their history. That's why you go in the Cameroons. You ask me, has Aijo got an autobiography? No. Has Mr. Biya got autobiography? No. Has Bello Buba got autobiography? No. Has Chiruma got autobiography? No. Because they want to delete our history. They don't want to write about what they did in the Cameroons. Behind me, I have a lot of people who have been Prime Minister, President, Bill Clinton, Margaret Thatcher, the Queen, a lot of people, Prime Minister, Churchill, all of them, they have their autobiography. They write about their life. Mr. Biya have been in power for 60 years. All these people, who they are old, do they have an autobiography? Because they don't want. They have nothing good to write about because they are destroying the country. They are committing treasonable offense. One important thing that I will tell you again, why these people, they have betrayed us. If you Google and look at the 10 richest countries on planet Earth, the 10 richest people, GDP per capita, the 10 richest countries, you'll be shocked. They are very small countries. Luxembourg, Singapore that had nothing, next to no mineral resources. Maokaosa in China, Ireland, a tiny country, Qatar, Norway, Switzerland, Brunei, Guyana, America comes number 10. Why are we not copying these small countries? Do you know what they have been doing? Most of them is manufacturing and financial sector. It's not natural resources. We of the Cameroons, we have all the natural resources. If you ask me, the Cameroons in terms of natural resources is one of the richest countries on planet Earth. In terms of natural resources. But most of the richest countries, the top 10, it has got nothing to do with natural resources. It's the financial sector. How come that Aijo and Paul Biya, they have not been able to make sure that we have a strong financial sector in the Cameroon? They have not been able to create it because they don't know how to govern a country. That's why I want to debate. All these so-called presidential candidates, let them come and debate with Metro Alexis. I would disgrace them, live debate, because they see we have a lot of mediocrity in the Cameroons, kakistocracy. People who just have qualification, we call it in the UK, Mickey Mouse education. Because I'm a professor, I'm a lawyer, it doesn't matter. It's what you do with that, your qualification. I saw this Mr. Is it Baebek, how do they call him? This UPC man. You went to a TV station. You call yourself a professor. When you go to a TV station, if you're not happy, you just walk out and go. Walk out and go. You don't come into my house and tell me to leave my house. So when I look at them, they call themselves professor. They are just a fly upon a sheet. They are not my role model. And what that professor, is it Baebek? What he did in English law, common law, is an assault. He would have been arrested if he was the United Kingdom. Do you know why? Assault does not mean I should touch you physically or punch you. Words could be assault. What he did was an assault. It was a criminal offense. But because we're in the Cameroons, nobody will touch him. Another one, Professor, is it Masanganyam, how they call him? I met him, we were on a program there. I saw a video. He called himself to, he's a professor. I don't care whether you're a professor. It's whether you follow the law, you understand the law. That's what's important to me. He said he was a professor too. He was saying that if you make a caricature of the King of England, it's death penalty. Mr. Masaganyam, there is no death penalty in the United Kingdom and European countries. And again, they make caricature of everybody. You saw Mr. Macron was slapped Holland, they pour powder on Holland. Anybody can take an egg and throw it on the prime minister or the king here. They will not kill you. Yes, maybe they might charge you for assault, normal crime if it's assault, but they don't kill you. So stop misleading people. I don't know where Joe Chobonkeng is. He sits there, people come and mislead people on TV, he doesn't. But when Maitre Mola Alex Livelisinghe come and state facts about the history, about annexation, about how we are still under the rule of France and how Macron is still the de facto president of the Cameroons, you say, oh, people will be scared in the TV. You don't love the truth. Speak the truth and the truth shall set you free. I was talking about all these 10 richest countries in the world, GDP per capita, which is Luxembourg, Singapore. Singapore was equivalent to the Cameroons and Nigeria in 1960. And it is not the natural resources, it is the financial sector. And what's the financial sector? It's banking, insurance company, investment company, you have hedge funds, venture capital, investment service, real estate. That's why. So if we in the Cameroons, we have real people who know politics, who know how to govern, we will not be going to China and asking China that, please China, give me loan for money. No, you ask for technology. What is important is financial sector and manufacturing industry. Ask for technology. The United Kingdom exchanged technology with the USA, European countries, they exchange technology. Don't take loan. Exchange technology. China, give me technology to produce my diamond, my gold, my gas, my timber, my rubber, my cotton, my gari, whatever we have, the commodities. The Cameroons will become the richest country on planet Earth. But these people, they work with the colonialists to make the Cameroons to remain poor forever. Why are you exporting those things? Why are you exporting it? And ladies and gentlemen, I keep on saying we should understand we are free to express our opinion. That's La République Constitution. We are free to associate with whoever we want to. That's La République Constitution. And when I come here and I'm scrutinizing, I'm holding the government of La République to account, it's because they have annexed my country, British Cameroon. In politics, you look at your constituency first. That's why we have members of parliament. Although I know our parliamentarians are non-functional, opposition non-functional, government non-functional, because you have to hold the government to account. So ladies and gentlemen, the truth is, they might delay it as much as they want. But I'm telling you, you can delay it as much as you want. British Cameroons will be a country again one day. And the reason I could never support La République is because the people of La République are still willing to remain with France. The least bargain we can get with them is for them to recognize that two countries came together. It's for them to recognize that we have different institutions with them. Let them use their French institution in their own area. We use our own. We are not interested in decentralization. I talked on my last program of federalism. The point is, when you decentralize it, who are you decentralizing to? In La République du Cameroun. We want that if you want to decentralize it or federalism, you should give it to British Cameroon and you give it to La République du Cameroun. So let's be sure that there are two countries, two stars, and we have been annexed. How can another black people come and annex other black people? Is that normal? And then when I see these people, these are people that you don't see them. Mr. Biya came out on, is it 20th May? Then he has disappeared. Nobody bothers about it. And they call him, is that how you govern a country? All these people, they say presidential candidate. None of them, they are not asking, where is Mr. Biya? A president must be going out and doing his job like any other person. You don't go and hide behind the scene, you say you're a president. That's not president. Mr. Biya is incapacitated. Kamto is afraid to say it. Akaremuna is afraid to say it. Bello Buba is afraid to say it. Chiruma is afraid to say it. Ngongo is afraid to say it. Atanganji is afraid to say it. Mr. Biya is incapacitated. You can delay it. As I said, when I'm talking, before somebody come and say I'm inciting violence, go and read Article 65 of the Constitution of La Republique du Cameroun, the right of self-determination. It is legal. When somebody is expressing his or her constitutional right, you come and torture them. The Constitution of La Republique says don't torture any person. It is forbidden. So if you have a government that does not follow its own constitution, the people have a right to fight back. Even the laws of the Cameroons says you have the right of self-determination and the right of self-defense. If you attack me, all those military people that you beat people's leg like that, if you take something like that and beat me there, I take a gun and shoot you in England, in America, in Europe, I will not go to prison because I was defending myself. You have no right to torture a person. No right. You don't have any right to beat a person. If there is something wrong, take the person to the court of La Republique du Cameroun and let the court decide. But you people torture people. In 2025, animals. You people have no respect. Human beings. I sit every day, I ask myself, how come that they annex us? It's the same thing. Slavery, apartheid, colonialism. Why is it that there are some countries that they did not colonize them? It's our brain. We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. My brothers and sisters in La Republique du Cameroun, you guys know that France is controlling you. So why do you want us to stay with you? My brothers and sisters, the King of England is the head of state of Canada. He's there now visiting Canada. He's the head of state for so many other countries, but they are democratic. King Charles doesn't go and tell Parliament how to run their country. King Charles is the King of Canada and many other countries, maybe more than 20. But he doesn't tell Canada how to run their country. Canada runs their country. The King of England doesn't tell the government of United Kingdom how to run the country. He said, my government. When they write the speech, the King's speech, is the government that writes it and gives it to the King. The King just reads it. He reigns, but he doesn't rule. Officially, King Charles is the head of state of Canada. He's there. He's there visiting Canada. Okay, Macron is not the head of state of the Cameroons. Why is Macron making decisions in the Cameroons? The king, King Charles, is the head of state of Canada. He doesn't tell them what to do. He doesn't dictate on Parliament. He doesn't steal their resources. Macron is not the head of state of the Cameroons. Why is Mr. Biya going to Rwanda come after national dialogue to him? So we know that the people of La Republique du Cameroun are majority. They want France to be making their money. They want France to control their socio-political orientation. They want that France to control their education at all levels, and they should give their resources to them. That is good enough reason to tell you that we, the British people, British Southern Cameroons rather, we are not happy and we don't want to be with you. If you want to be with us as Africans, come let's discuss other things as Pan-Africans. Most of you have taken us to a French organization made up of La République du Cameroun, Central African Republic, Chad, Republic of Congo, Gabon. You call it CEMAC, maybe is it Guinea or whatsoever, Equatorial Guinea. Okay, we believe we can benefit to have alliance or cooperation with Nigeria, with Ghana, with South Africa, with Zambia, with Tanzania, with other English-speaking African countries. So why are you suffocating us inside a French Union? Why are you forcing us to use your franc CFA? We had shillings. Why are you forcing us to remain under France? We don't want it. That is the point. That is the question. Mr. Biya, you seceded in 1984. We have accepted. And now, we want to be on our own. Singapore was part of Malaysia. The then Malaysian Prime Minister said, we don't want you, go, go, go. The people of Singapore, they were crying. But look at them now. They are the best of the best in the world. Mr. Biya, Ayolo, Ngongo, Grégoire Oona, we want to develop, we leave we make we go. We don't decide for poverty, few of una shidon, we take money, do it, we want to then the majority of the people will suffer. If we want to stay for France, we stay there, we want to go. Let my people go. It is a constitutional right in accordance to Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroun. Once more, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndive Lisinge, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a great day. Partager le pouvoir de vos familles.